Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you all had a great time off. But now it's time to get back into the swing of things. FPL is back in 4 days, guys, and I'm gonna be here with you every night from now till the start of Game Week 1, and we're gonna be having some great chats, discussing your teams, giving you answers, and discussing everything FPL. That's it. So, as you can see on the screen, you can see my team, and that's where I'm at right now. But a lot of tinkering to be done, a lot of different players to be considered. But after a lot of thought, this is what I've I've managed to get at. But there are different options that I'm going to discuss with you tonight about different formations, and you know I've tinkered with this team so much, and I see Fadzali's comments. Matea says, "Hey Wiz, hey Matea, welcome." Jackson, FPL Sam, thank you so much everybody for joining. Everything is fine. Thank you so much for asking. Clip says, "I'm lost. Changed my team 10 times already. Hopefully after your stream, some confidence again." I hope so, my friend. And I'll give you some perspective as to why you think my team is template. And as Fadli says, I swear I saw this team like 100 times before. He's not wrong. And I'll tell you why we need to start with a safe team, and I'm going to talk about that as well. FPL Sam says it's 90% the same team with me, so hopefully we're on the same psyche, and we're on the same direction. Fadli says my forward line right now is Wilson, Ings, and Vardy. Vardy, that's an interesting one, my friend. Not seen Vardy in many drafts at the moment. So before I start answering your questions and your comments, I'd just like to take you through my team a little bit and tell you my thought process as to why I selected this team. And then, I'm going to be here. We'll talk about it and discuss stuff. So as you can see, my goalkeeper is Sanchez, pretty much the safest pick that there is in 4.5 million goalkeepers. I really like his fixtures at the start, especially the second one and the fourth one with Brentford and Watford. Burnley away, I don't think it's the best fixture. I think they can concede, but I still like him at the 4.5 million price point. And Brighton have been good defensively, although they have Lamptey is injured, and a couple of their players are injured in defense, but I still feel that considering everything, 4.5 million for Sanchez, I think it's pretty good. I discussed this in my video in detail as to why I feel Sanchez is the best goalkeeper. So Sanchez is going to be my goalkeeper, and then we move on to the defense. And I've got so far, as you might see, and I really like West Ham's fixtures. I stopped myself as to I was gonna go with Benrahma, to be honest with you, and for now I've put Rafinha in my team. I really wanted to go with Benrahma, but I think that would be a little bit overkill with 3 West Ham players. Nahil says, "Hey Wiz, welcome Nahil. Really glad to have you here, my friend." So I'm just taking you through my team, guys, and then I'm gonna be here and answering your questions. So no worries here. So just let me just go through my team. So far I really like, he is at 5 million. I think he's one of the best options, especially with West Ham's fixtures at the start of the season: Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Southampton. Realistically, if you ask me, I see them keeping at least in the first 6 games. How many clean sheets do I see them keeping? Or maybe let's consider Brentford as well. So maybe I'd say 3 clean sheets along with a couple of attacking returns for Sofal would be ideal. And then I've got Shaw, as you know, along with Trent Alexander-Arnold, the most attacking defender in the league last season, and he's had a really good, solid Euros. There were doubts about Shaw's fitness, that he's injured his ribs and stuff, but they say he's gonna be alright. He's gonna be fine. So Shaw's in my team and has some really good fixtures at the start of the season. I don't trust the FDR, so don't look at these red fixtures and get bogged down by them. The Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Aston Villa, Everton, Leicester even. I really see United doing really well in these games. I expect out of the first 6-7 fixtures, I see them keeping 3 or 4 clean sheets as well as attacking returns. You see his ownership, guys, 52.6%. That is insane. He's the highest owned player in FPL right now, and I never expected that. Third, I don't think I need to say much about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He just has to be in my team at the start of the season, especially you look at these fixtures, and don't need to say much about him. Shaw is 52% owned and Trent is just 30%. It is insane that he's just 30% owned. It's like 100% people made their teams and just 30% of them considered Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't understand that, to be honest with you. I expect that TSB to be much higher at the start of game week 1, by the way, And then I've got Amartey and I've got Ben White. I think at 4.5 million, Ben White is a decent, solid option. He's going to start all the games for Arsenal, and why I put Ben White in. Why I put Ben White in the team is because he's got a game week 4 fixture, against Norwich, and then is even in the first game week he's got Brentford, Burnley, and then Crystal Palace, Brighton. So I can consider him for the easier fixtures. And 4.5 million, I think he's a pretty decent pick. Now, why I've got Amartey in my team is because, they lost Wesley Fofana to injury. Amartey started in the Community Shield, did pretty well, as you all might have watched the game. I watched it. He was pretty good, pretty solid, looked part of the team, never looked out of place, never looked like he is the player that is not gonna be playing. He looks as a part of that Leicester team and looked motivated enough to for me to consider Amartey. And even I want to put him in my team against Wolves, but I don't have any spot for him, unfortunately, so I had to put him on the bench. So that is my defense for now. In midfield is the most you can say dilemma that I have about a couple of players that I really want to get, and I'm going to talk about that. So I've got Jota. I think preseason has shown the importance of Jota to that Liverpool team and also to our FPL teams. Many people are saying he's not nailed, and on Twitter I've seen people saying go for Tsimikas because Robertson is injured. You can, because Tsimikas is 4 million left back, so I know where they're coming from, getting a Liverpool defender for 4 million, but we don't know how long Robertson is going to be out for is one point. And Jota, you don't want to be missing Jota against Norwich and against Burnley at home and against Crystal Palace and Brentford. You just have to kind of attack Liverpool's fixtures at the start of the season. I think most seasoned FPL managers are going to go for 3 Liverpool players, be it Tsimikas, Alexander-Arnold, and Salah. Some of you might be willing to be adventurous and go for Mane, but I suggest you to go with Salah, just because I feel he's the better FPL asset. But that's a debate for another day, guys. I'm just gonna take you through my team. So the second player obviously is Salah, and everything I said about Jota, he can just it goes the same with Salah. So we got Fernandes. I know there's a lot of debate going on with Bruno and Bruno yes or Bruno, but I am always Bruno, and guys, I don't think I have even considered going without Bruno Fernandes. One thing, as I just showed you the fixtures of Luke Shaw, the first 5 or 6 fixtures are really, really good. Leeds and Southampton are the 2 teams against which he scored the maximum amount of points last season. And Bruno is the kind of player, and as you might have seen yesterday in the match against Everton, he scored a free kick. He scored a direct free kick. He created chances. He is a live wire, this guy. And I don't know why anybody would want to go without him. I know the price point is high and you might want to go for Sancho or maybe Greenwood, but for me, a United penalty taker, inverted commas, this year, this Sevilla is gonna be stricter with the penalties, but I still feel he's really worth going for. So I've got Rafinha in here, and he's the player which I am a little bit doubtful about. The reason why I am doubtful about Rafinha is that Leeds have not looked really, really strong attacking-wise in pre-season, or as a team. Even at the end of last season, they were more defensive as As we would have liked them to attack more, but they became more defensively solid. Bielsa changed his approach a little bit. Rafinha is still a really really good pick, but I'm looking at Ben Rama for one, and the second thing which I'm really concerned about is I don't have any City players for game week 2, and that is what I'm going to talk about a little bit later as well. But he's one player which is close to the chopping block for me. Rafinha, maybe for Harvey Barnes or somebody else, but for now he's in my team. And my fifth midfielder, my enabler, is Brownhill. You can go for Bissouma, you want to go for Gilmore, Brownhill, Oriel Romeo. They're all the same. I just went for Brownhill because he scored a couple of goals in preseason. It's not the best parameter of kind of the performance of a player if you see he scored a couple of goals in preseason, but we don't have much to go for, so I just went for Brownhill, and I think he's pretty decent. And in my strikers is where I've changed a bit. I had Watkins. I changed him for Ings, and because Watkins was injured yesterday, I'm not sure if he's going to be back for game week 1. Even if he is back, I want to go for a striker who can actually finish his chances. Watkins was a really, really frustrating player to own, although he scored a lot of FPL points and everything, but he was so frustrating to own. When you were watching the games, watch Grealish create chance after chance for Watkins, and Grealish is gone, so I don't know who's going to create all the chances, and presumably Buendia is injured as well, so I just went for Danny Ings. I think he's sharper, he's Premier League proven, and I'm not sure if he's going to be in penalties. I thought he was going to be, but yesterday El Ghazi took the penalty, so that was something to consider. Tony, I put in my team. He scored 31 goals in the championship last season, and why I put Tony in my team is especially, guys, because I've ignored the promoted teams. I always say, I'm gonna not go for the promoted teams. I ignored Timu Puki, I was punished. I ignored Bamford, I was punished. And that is the reason I don't want to ignore the promoted teams now. And Ivan Toney is a really, really kind of a good excuse me, deadly striker, a good finisher, and they have some good fixtures as well. If his fixtures were not good, I would possibly not have gone for him. But Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brighton, I mean, these are the easier fixtures in the Premier League. Not as easy as Norwich, but still, after that they have some really, really tough ones. So, I mean, his ownership is like 30%. So that's also another thing which you want to look at. If you don't own Tony and he bangs in a couple of goals, your game week 1 rank can go down very quickly, and that is something which you should be concerned about. Although that should not be the parameter to select a player, but you should be concerned about that. And Antonio is, as you already know, guys, if he stays fit, I said in my video, I'm gonna say it again, if he stays fit, there is no other striker, no other budget striker like Mikel Antonio, and he's got some really, really good fixtures. Just like so far I said, Newcastle, even Leicester at home, I expect him to score against Leicester. That is how good he is. Palace, Southampton, United, alright, that's a tough one, but Leeds, Brentford, I mean, the fixtures are there. Antonio is fit and firing. I really I'm trying to stop myself from going for a West Ham triple up with Ben Rama in place of Rafinha. The only doubt I have in my mind, guys, with this team is I don't have a City player against Norwich in game week 2, and that is bugging me a lot. It might be the fear of missing out, but Norwich have injuries, COVID related problems, their team is a shambles, and a City team against Norwich is something which you cannot ignore, and that is the only thing which I'm concerned about. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this team, to be honest with you. My captain in game week 1 is going to be Salah. There is going to be no change there, and vice captain Fernandes. So the only thing which I'm concerned about is not owning a City player for game week 2. And that is what I'm concerned about. And second thing which I'm concerned about, guys, is that I was thinking I had to keep 500,000 in the bank, for game week 2, because after game week 1 the managers are proactive, they make transfers like crazy, and the price changes happen after 1 day. So if you're looking to go for a player and you want some time to think about your decision, and he rises by zero point 0.1 million, you don't have the requisite money to go for the player, because you spent the entire 100 million budget on your players. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, because 100 million allows you to go for better players initially, but if you want to react to game week 1 performances of certain players and you want to go for them, if you don't have money in the bank, the price changes after 1 day because of the transfers. You are stuck. Either you have to take a -4 hit, or you just don't have, you have to wait 1 game week for a certain player which you want to go for. So that's what I'm thinking about. But currently, we still have 4 more days to go for FPL. As I said, I'm going to be streaming most of these days with you. Every night I'm going to be coming here. I'm going to be talking to you about my updated draft and, just answering your questions. And hopefully we can get to a decent draft before the start of the season. So this is about my team. I didn't talk about Foster, but I don't expect him to start. I expect Daniel Backman to start for Watford. I'm not hopeful of Watford keeping too many clean sheets, although they have broken the championship record last season for the least goals conceded. That record was held by Middlesbrough in 2014. Watford conceded just 30 goals last season, but their expected goals conceded was about 54. And I expect them to concede a lot of goals, to be honest with you. I don't expect them to be defensively solid or anything. That is the reason I'm not considering going for their keeper. Foster is just a placeholder. It could be Angus Gunn. It could be Daniel Steele, or not Daniel Steele. I don't even know his name. Daniel Steele is an author. Anyways, so you know what I mean, right? So I'm gonna come back and read your comments now. I hope I was able to clear your doubts about my team. So many comments, and I'm pretty happy that there's like 21 of you watching, and there you go. So FPL Duck says, "Hi Wiz, what are your transfer plans for the upcoming fixtures?" I'm gonna talk about that, Jugs. I have to make my plans. It depends on whether I wanna, which player from Manchester City I wanna get for game week 2 is going to dictate my transfer plans, bro. Barry says, "Did you take Dean out after the Manchester United friendly as well?" To be honest with you, I did take Dean out before that, but I was, my decision was vindicated a bit when he wasn't on set pieces. Dean wasn't on set pieces, and he played well actually in that game. Although Everton conceded 4 goals, but Dean created a couple of really good clear-cut chances, and without Calvert-Lewin, I don't think it was, it was easy for Dean to kind of assist anyone. Nahal says, "Thoughts on Meslier, Jota or Greenwood?" So these are good questions coming in, and let's talk. Let's address them one by one. So first of all, let's talk about Meslier. So Nahal, I think Meslier is good. As a 5 million goalkeeper, he is good. But the thing is, the first 4 fixtures don't fill me with too much confidence about Meslier. I mean, what if you kind of wildcarded in game week 6, or game week 5, or game week 6 or 7? Would you really want to have Meslier for the first 4 or 5 fixtures? I wouldn't. I really wouldn't, because even Burnley away or maybe Newcastle away, these are not the fixtures in which you can say that a Leeds clean sheet is guaranteed. Maybe Newcastle, but other than that. So you start the season with Meslier, thinking that he has good fixtures starting game week 5, but then you wildcard in game week 6 or game week 5, and then what is the point of owning Meslier for the first 4 or 5 fixtures? That is the only thing to consider. If you think you're gonna keep your wildcard, I don't suggest you to make a decision about your wildcard at the start of the season. You analyze how you start in game week 1, in game week 2. Do you really need an early wildcard or not? But I'm just saying, if you intend to wildcard early, as many managers do, I don't think that Meslier should be the best option at the start. Otherwise, if you want to keep him long term, definitely a good option. Yeah. Mario says, "Jota or Greenwood?" Honestly, this is a question which I don't have an answer for. every day I swap Jota with Greenwood and swap Greenwood back with Jota. But why I went for Jota over Greenwood in this stream, in my team, because I feel that Jota is more nailed on. One thing, because Sancho's essentially plays in the same position as Greenwood, and Jadon Sancho has to play over Greenwood. The other position in which Greenwood can play is the striker, but in that role they've got Martial, they've got Cavani. I think Greenwood is not gonna be as nailed on as everybody is thinking. So that is one thing to consider. That is the reason I went for Jota. But if you want to go for Greenwood, definitely, and but I don't feel that he's as nailed on as everybody thinks he is, because as soon as Sancho starts, because Sancho is a right winger, as soon as Sancho starts, I don't think Greenwood has a place unless they move him to the striker spot, in which he competes with Cavani and Martial. So yeah. Amrit says, what about Lucas Moura? He's creating a lot of chances. Amrit, I really did not consider Lucas Moura. Actually, I'm really intrigued by Dele Alli. I think he's playing really good under Nuno, and his performances have been really good against Arsenal. He struck the post twice. Excuse me, and he struck the post twice, and he actually was pretty lively in the preseason. The only thing I'm concerned about is whether Kane stays at Spurs, and then what happens to Dele. So for now, the only Spurs player I'm considering is Son, but looking at my team, I don't have any way to get Son in my team unless I drop from a 3-4-3 to a maybe 4-4-2. Other than that, I don't see any place for Son in my team. If you want, you can go for Son. I think he's a decent option. He has had a really good preseason, scored like 4 or 5 goals. I think he's pretty good. Barry says, Iheanacho or Vardy? Barry, the concerning thing for Iheanacho for me is he hasn't started a lot of preseason games. Even in the Community Shield, I know he came on and scored the goal or the penalty, but he didn't start that game either. So, I think with Harvey Barnes coming back in, Iheanacho might not be as nailed on as we think. I was pretty much certain that Iheanacho, the run that he had at the tail end of last season, I was thinking that Iheanacho would be nailed on, but I'm concerned that he did not start the Community Shield or the preseason games as much as I want to. And then he's competing with Patson Daka now they've got, and Harvey Barnes coming back. So I think there are like 3 places, and there are like 6 really good players competing for those places, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, I think, for Iheanacho. Todd says Bet365 shows Jota on the bench in game week 1. So does Scout. Both sources have Greenwood starting. I love Jota, but I think I have to say Greenwood. Todd, I don't know why. For what reason Scout and Bet365 shows that Jota is going to be benched. I don't think Jota is the form Jota is in, and when he is fit, I don't think Klopp benches him. I think they can all play together, to be honest with you. Firmino, Mane, Salah and Jota can play together. So in my opinion, if you ask me, I think Jota starts in game week 1. But let's see, let's see the press conferences. Let's see, let's get all the information. If we think Jota is going to be benched, we can always move on to pastures new. But for now, I'm just going to stick with Jota. Skilp says maybe Jota to Greenwood and take Tsimikas. Yeah, I know that approach. Many people on Twitter have been talking about Jota to Greenwood and somebody else to Tsimikas, but I don't know how long Robertson is going to be out for, and that is something which concerns me, because Robertson is generally a fit player, and if he comes back after 2 weeks, I don't think there's the shelf life of Tsimikas is too long. If Robertson is out for too long and Tsimikas has a bad game, does Klopp play him in the next game, or does maybe James Milner come in? I know Tsimikas is a good player. He has had a good preseason, and I read some Liverpool forums and stuff, and they seem to rate him pretty highly. Even from Olympiacos, I watched him play and he was good, but I'm not sure about. I want 2 defenders from Liverpool if I can own Jota and Salah. Nahil says Robo pictured with a crutch outside the hospital. 3-4 game weeks easily. So, I mean that, yeah. If he's been pictured with the crutch, I'm not a medical expert, guys, but I think he could be out for 3 to 4 game weeks. If you want, you can consider Simicast. Yes, why not? So this is the thing about my team. I'm pretty happy with it. So now let's tinker a little bit, right, guys? Tinker is the word. That's what I've been doing for the best part of the time since FPL launched the game. So what I can do with this team is I can go with 2 strikers, right? So let's say I take out Ings for let's say Obafemi. Why am I going with Obafemi? Because he's 4.5 million, and I expect him to maybe get some sub appearances and stuff. I know Southampton gonna sign Armstrong from Blackburn, so I've got 3.5 million in the bank. So if I replace Brownhill, I've got 8 million in the bank. And who can I get with 8 million? I know I can get Grealish, but I don't want. Essentially, I mean, I'm pretty interested in Grealish as well. I think he's a pretty good option, Grealish, and because with Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden injured, I think he comes into the team straight away in that City team. I know many people are thinking about Ferran Torres, but I think Grealish is a good option if you want to go for that. And I can then, if I go for Grealish, and I've got game week 2 covered, hopefully. I'm not sure how Grealish is gonna do in City, but we can just hope. Then maybe Benrahma. I can go with Benrahma. But you see, there's a lot of things that are going on in my mind, and this team is nowhere close to the final team that I have. And if I want to cover City, I can replace Sofal with possibly John Stones, which I think is a good option from the City defense, because I've heard rumors that one of the City defenders, the centre back, Aymeric Laporte, is gonna leave. He's looking to move away from City. So there is a lot of, and then if I don't want to move on Sofal for Stones, I still have 0.5 million in the bank. And if some of you really love Greenwood, what I could do is I could just replace him with Greenwood. I could have 1 million in the bank. I could move from Sofal to kyzioh. I mean, the possibilities are endless, guys. That is the problem in FPL, right? But this doesn't look like a bad team, does it? Yeah. Nehal says chances of Beck to start too, but Simicast. I don't think Beck is gonna start, to be honest with you. I feel Simicast is the one, But yeah, but you can see, if you can look at this team, it doesn't look like a bad team either, guys. I mean, look pretty decent. kyzioh was good last season. He's been playing in preseason, and doesn't look bad either. If I want to be safe, I could go with Ruben Diaz, John Stones. I could keep some money in the bank. I could even just replace him with John Stones, and I could keep some money in the bank either. I mean, the options are endless. I've got 0.5 million in the bank. I've got like 5 good midfielders. I've got 2 decent strikers, and I've got a very good defense. I mean, this is a good team as well. So the options are endless. Nehal says breaking scan suggests nothing too major, but there's some ligament damage which will need to mend. I will be grafting every day so I can help the team sooner rather than. So you see, I don't think, again, as I said, Robo is a fit player. I don't expect him to be, too out for too long. Yeah, Gundogan is greater than Grealish. So again, 7.5 million, Greenwood, Gundogan. You can go for anybody you want to. The point being, the options in this setup are endless. I honestly feel, you could go with Gundogan. Without Kevin De Bruyne last season, he was pretty good. You see here, guys, I mean, if you like Luca Dean, you replace Stones with Dean. You can, if you like Cresswell, you can go with Cresswell, and you still have 500,000 in the bank, guys. How does this team look to you? Fudzali says Ryan Bertrand or Ricardo Pereira. If I had the option, my friend, I would. How much is? I need to check actually. I haven't checked Leicester's defenders' prices, because the only one I actually considered was Amarte. So Bertrand is 5 million and Ricardo Pereira is 5.5. Bertrand, I'm not sure how much attacking input Bertrand is gonna have from that left hand side. It's not like that he's attacking he's as attacking as the other, or he has the pace to bob forward. But if I had to consider one, I would possibly think Ricardo Pereira, because he's more attacking. Would I spend 5.5 for a Leicester defender? Possibly not, my friend. I wouldn't spend 5.5 on a Leicester defender. Are you not considering Wilson at all? I am considering Wilson. In fact, I considered him very heavily because Newcastle's fixtures at the start of the season look really, really good. The problem is the funds that we need in it. So if I can make the funds, if I don't want to go with 5 in the midfield, then I can consider like somebody like, let's say, Wilson, Tony, and Antonio. Especially if Emiliano Buendia, if he wasn't injured, I would put him in my midfield, in place of Ben Rama, and then I would definitely consider Callum Wilson. The problem is Emiliano Buendia is injured, and I'm not sure if he's going to be fit for game week 1. So the thing that drives me is towards Danny Ings, because if Buendia was fit and starting in game week 1, I could cover Villa's first 3 fixtures with Buendia, and then I have one striker spot which I could reserve for somebody like Callum Wilson. That is something to consider. Lucas says, hey, should I go Shaw and a 4 million defender, or Sofal and a 4.5 million defender? That is to be honest with you, Lucas, I would go with Shaw and a 4 million defender. The thing is, because I think there are a couple of 4 million defenders which are beginning to show up, which will actually get some game time. Amartey is one, Omo Bamidele from Norwich is another one. Maybe Brandon Williams, if he goes to a different club, can be a decent option too. So I think Shaw and a 4 million would be my option. Nehal says Rafinha versus Tony. That is interesting, yeah. I thought about it. The only reason why I'm a little bit apprehensive about going with Rafinha over Tony is because I think Leeds haven't looked their attacking best. Even at the tail end of last season, Rafinha was pretty good for Leeds, but they were not creating that many chances, and I would be a little bit concerned about their fixtures at the start of the season. So I'm a little bit, I'm thinking about it. The first player on the chopping block for me is Rafinha, and if I could, I would replace him with somebody like Harvey Barnes. That would be pretty good, right, guys? If I could manage it, which I think I can. Let me show you how. So you see, alright. So why I can't? Okay, he's not called Harvey. He's called Barnes. So there is Barnes, and then I've got a 0.5 million deficit, and I can again go for my previous defender is Sofal. You look at this team, guys. This looks fab, innit? Tony, Antonio, Gundogan, Barnes, Salah, Jota, Fernandes, and some really good defense. So you see there are options, and these are ones which I'm considering. Tony also not played last game. Yeah, their manager confirmed that he's gonna be 100% fit for game week 1. He had a bit of an injury niggle or something like that, but they are definitely sure that he's gonna start in game week 1. So no problems there, my friend. Lucas says Tony and more money in defense, or Ings and less money in defense. It all depends on the structure of your team, by the way. I would like to tell you guys, I put out a thread on Twitter, which I don't know how many of you follow me on Twitter, but if you don't, my Twitter ID is @VizFPL. I put out a thread which was very, very interesting to me. I would like to read it out to you. I don't think I have a picture which I could share with you right now, but this thread is very, very interesting, guys. It shows that the top 50 players, was it? Hang on, just give me a second. I'm actually looking at it right now. If I can show you, it would be very interesting. The formation that the top 50 FPL managers of the previous 5 years have used the most is 3-4-3 and 3-5-2. And actually I can show it to you right now. My opinion on Smith Rowe is that in the 5.5 million bracket, he is one of the better players. I feel Mbumo from Brentford is pretty good as well. Smith Rowe is yes, a decent option. Would you put him in your team as a fourth midfielder playing week in, week out? I'm not sure, because Arsenal haven't looked their attacking best in preseason. I've watched all their games. If you didn't know already, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I watched all the games. They haven't looked their attacking best, but yeah, 5.5 million as a fifth midfielder, you can consider him, yes. And Mbumo as well. I really like the look of Mbumo from Brentford. If you don't want to go with Tony, you want to save 1 million, you could go with Mbumo, because in the 3-5-2 system, he plays as a striker alongside Tony. Lucas says Tierney. Tierney is the best, defensive option from Arsenal, because he offers something that no other Arsenal defender offers: the attacking threat. He bombs down the left flank, up and down, crossing, putting in amazing crosses. Unfortunately, we don't have Olivier Giroud anymore, and we've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, who can barely head a ball for to save their lives. So yeah, unfortunately, but I think Tierney is a good, is honestly good, and I think he's gonna give you some attacking returns this season, irrespective of who he's playing with. DM says, is it good to double up on Brighton with Veltman and Sanchez, and can Harrison cover Rafinha? I think Veltman and Sanchez double up is good. I like that. Yeah. I think they've got good fixtures at the start of the season, so I think yes, Veltman and Sanchez can work. Harrison covering Rafinha is not that. I would still go with Rafinha. I feel he's on set pieces, free kicks and stuff, and he's just a better player. Although I know Harrison, at the tail end of last season, he had a couple of great performances, but if I had to select one, I would go with Rafinha. DCL or that 75% change to play. No, I think DCL is going to be injured. If he didn't play yesterday against United, with a week to go, if he's not fit, I don't think he's going to be sharp enough to start the season, and that is a big concern for Everton, because Richarlison was at the Olympics. He cannot be fit to start either, so they are left with Moise Kean. And I'm not sure how he's gonna be. He was good for PSG last season, but there he was playing with like the stars. Here, I'm not sure how good he's gonna be for Everton, and that is a concern. Todd says Callum Chambers. Todd, I'm a little bit concerned about Callum Chambers, because where does he play in our team? Because at the centre back positions, we've got Ben White, which is nailed on, definitely starting, and then we've got Pablo Mari, Gabriel, and Callum Chambers competing for the centre back spot. On the right back, I'm not sure if Arteta prefers to start Callum Chambers at right back. So even though Bellerin wants to leave, Arteta has been starting him on the right back spot in place of Callum Chambers. He did play there for a couple of preseason games, but I don't think Callum Chambers is nailed. I definitely don't think he's nailed on. If I had to go for a 4.5 million Arsenal defender, and then there's Rob Holding as well, by the way. Rob Holding, Gabriel, Pablo Mari, and Callum Chambers all competing for the same slot. Unless Arsenal play with 3 at the back, I don't see any place for Chambers. And right back, I think Arsenal gonna prefer to go with Bellerin, and if he leaves, I think that is the only way. And Cedric Soares gets injured is the only way Chambers is gonna get some game time. That is, for me, Callum Chambers is a big no. Fudley says, do you think Vardy is nailed? Fudley, 100% Vardy is nailed. There is no doubt about that, my friend. Vardy is the talisman of that Leicester team, and there is no way Brendan Rodgers doesn't start him. Saleh says, hi bro, how are you? Hope everything is alright. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm fine. I've been vaccinated. John says, hey Viz, nice to see you after so many days. Hope you're fine and vaccinated. Yep, thank you so much for asking, guys, and I hope you all got your vaccines as well. And yep, I've been vaccinated. I've got my second dose yesterday. Still feeling the after effects, but I'm pretty happy that I did. Hope you all staying safe as well, guys. Todd says, thanks. You're welcome, Todd. Nehal says, current draft. Let's read Nehal's current draft, everybody. By the way, before I go ahead, I would like to thank Smelly Wab. He's a regular viewer of the channel, and he signed up to be a member of the channel, so I had to say thanks So Smellywab, whenever you watch this video replay, it's a big thanks to you for joining as a member of the channel and supporting what I do here, bro. Nehal says Meslier, Trent, Shaw, Tierney, Sofal. Yeah, that's pretty good. Welshman, Amarte, Salah, Bruno Barnes, Benrahma, Brownhill, Tony, Antonio Ings. Nehal, I have to say I really like that team, you know. Again, I told you about the Meslier pick. That could be, you know, that is your personal choice. But if I had to, if I had to kind of select that team, I would be happy with that. You know, you've got Harvey Barnes, you've got Bruno, Salah, Benrahma, Brownhill, pretty good, bro. You know, if you want, you could go with Tierney because you already have two West Ham players in Antonio and Benrahma, and I like that. I really like that. That is like a 9 out of 10 rot for me. The only concern would be the same concern that I have with my team: no Manchester City players in Game Week 2. But I presume you have a way of fixing that, bro. Fadzli says, do you expect Lacazette to start? I do expect him to start, Fadzli. The problem is, you know, we've got 3 spots for 4 players, and let me tell you which players I expect to start. I expect Aubameyang to start definitely, and then you've got Pepe, Saka, and Lacazette. I expect only 2 players to start out of Pepe, Lacazette, and Saka, and that is a big problem because, you know, I think either Pepe drops out and Saka starts in his place. But Saka hasn't had a good preseason because he was, you know, obviously off to the Euros and he came back late, and I expect, you know, maybe Saka is not going to be ready for Game Week 1. I presume Lacazette is going to be starting as striker, Aubameyang on the left, Pepe on the right, and on the number 10 spot is going to be Emil Smith-Rowe. Yeah. DM says, no way you finished 534 in 2018-19. I need you. I betted $100 and winner of the league gets 500. Yeah, I did finish. I finished top 100 in 2018-19. It's been a couple of years now. I need to push on and win this thing once and for all, and then we can sit here and chill every day and talk about how I won FPL, right? Yeah. I did finish top 500 once, but Saleh says, good 4.5 million goalkeeper options had Meslier and Martinez. Now really not having an idea. Saleh, to be honest with you, I'd say Sanchez is the best 4.5 million option. He's better than Backman, and I presume he's better than Gaita as well. Because the thing is, I was thinking about Gaita and 4.5 million, but under Patrick Vieira, I think Palace are going to be more attacking. So in my opinion, 4.5 million, you go with Sanchez. If you want to go with 5 million, I would think about Meslier, I would think about De Gea, and also think about Kasper Schmeichel as well. John says, why are you playing 3-5-2 instead of 3-4-3? John, that was just a team I was tinkering, you know. I was talking to everybody here and I was tinkering with my team. I was showing the different options that are possible. So this is my team right now, which you see on the screen, and let me show you the team which I was tinkering with. So this is the team which I was just goofing around, changing players around and showing what is possible, you know, with Gundogan and Sofal and Cancelo and Harvey Barnes and, you know, everybody else. So, it's just tinkering around, bro. Fadli says, Wilson, Ings, Antonio, rank them from best to worst. I'd say Antonio is the best for me. You know, out of those 3, Antonio is the best. It would be really hard for me to say which one is second. I'd say both Wilson and Ings are equally good, but I'd put Wilson above Ings because 1, he's on penalties, 2, he's the talisman of that team, and 3, he's settled in Newcastle. Ings is new in Aston Villa. I'm not sure how he's, just based on 1 preseason game, not sure how how much we can deduce from that. So it's Antonio, Wilson, and Ings. Nehal says, yeah, that's my only concern. Tierney in my team at the moment have 0.5 million in the bank. Will move to Gundogan or Grealish from Barnes if needed. Ings will be Jimenez as soon as the fixtures turn. That is a good plan, bro. I totally agree with that, and I had a similar kind of a plan. I'm even thinking about, if I don't have any other option to move to a Manchester City player, I could possibly think about moving on Jota to a City player in game week 2. Because I really, really cannot see City not hammering Norwich in game week 2. I think City are gonna definitely beat them and beat them really, really badly. And you know, if I wish I knew Ferran Torres was nailed, 7 million City player nailed on would be awesome to have in it. Even Bernardo Silva, he wants to leave City, but if he was nailed on, he could have been a decent option against Norwich City. You just get a City midfielder, be it Gundogan, Grealish, or Mahrez, whichever one you can get. Ferran says Ole. Yeah, so I just talked about Ferran. I'm not sure if he's nailed on, my friend. And although Pep has been playing him as a striker, I think realistically Gabriel Jesus, or if Harry Kane comes in, he changes the entire picture of FPL. But until then, I think Gabriel Jesus is gonna be the one to play. Not sure if Ferran is nailed, because Sterling plays on one side and Mahrez plays on the other. So where is the place for Ferran if Gabriel Jesus plays as a striker? I don't see it. Fadzali says, who would you take if Sofal and Cresswell are the same price? I would take Cresswell. I would definitely take Cresswell. I think Sofal is a really, really good attacking player, but with Cresswell you get free kicks, you get corners, and you get he has much more assist potential than Sofal. I think Sofal makes more runs up and down the flank, and he has good potential as well. But if they were the same price, I would pick Cresswell, bro. Saleh says Ziyech has had an amazing preseason. Do you think of having him? I don't think Ziyech is gonna end at Chelsea. I think he's wanting to leave. I think there's many rumors of him going to AC Milan or some other club, because I don't think Tuchel he's in Tuchel's long-term plans. Ziyech, I don't think so. Owned by M says, thoughts on Benrahma being good in preseason. Owned, I already talked a lot about Benrahma and wanting him in my team, bro. If I can, I will have Benrahma in my team. I'm just still a little bit wary about having 3 West Ham players in my team, and that is the only reason why I don't have Benrahma right now. But I think he has potential, guys. Playing as a number 10, Benrahma has potential. He is the nutmeg prince, and he is really, really good. I just I can't overstate how good he is. That's all I want to say. So yeah, I can put Benrahma in my team. I can it's good to tinker, guys. Sometimes when you tinker, you find some good options. For example, I've found 1 million in the bank, and I can turn Sofal to Cancelo if I want, or Ruben Diaz, or whoever I want. You see, there are many options. I can even turn Benrahma to Harvey Barnes, but then we come back to where we started. Alright, let me have a drink of water, by the way, guys. Been talking for a while now, innit? So John says, how are people planning to bring Kane or Lukaku if they get transferred? I think Lukaku is definitely going to get transferred. I don't think Lukaku is an if. I think Lukaku is a when. In my opinion, Lukaku is definitely going to get transferred in, and he's coming to Chelsea. I think the medicals have already been done. He's flying to Chelsea. So Lukaku, what do you think, guys? What is the price point at which you would definitely get Lukaku in your teams? In my opinion, I'd say 10.5 million would be an amazing price for somebody who starts every week for Chelsea. And if he comes in at something like 10.5 million, it would be really, really hard to ignore Lukaku. Guess going 3 premium, Bruno, Salah and Kane. John, that is fine, if we go with 3 premiums, but then you have to sacrifice Trent Alexander-Arnold. There is no other way you get Bruno, Salah and Kane in your team and get a balanced team without sacrificing Trent. Tariq says, how risky is Jota? Tariq, I've already spoken about it a bit, but I don't think Jota is too risky. I think maybe he gets like, what, 5.5 or 5 games out of 6. Nehal here is a Liverpool fan. Let's see what he says. So Nehal, what do you think about Jota being nailed on, and what do you think is the risk of him being benched? Our friend Tariq here wants to know, and Nehal here is the Liverpool fan who can tell us better. Nehal says Tuchel does not fancy Ziyech, so Pulisic might also play wing back, rotating with Chilwell. I, is Pulisic really a wing back? I'm not even sure if he can defend, but I think Chilwell is a really good option. If Chelsea didn't have those, first couple of really difficult games with City and Liverpool and Arsenal, I think, but I would definitely consider one of the Chelsea players. I would. FPL Sam says Simicas is getting real now. Robo said to miss a few games. Yeah, Simicas is fine, some, but the thing is, which three Liverpool players do you really want to waste a Liverpool spot on Simicas? Is the question. It could go well for you, but it could also go. You could miss out on somebody like Diogo Jota, 7.5 million. The potential to score a big haul against Norwich is not out of the question. Norwich has so many injuries, COVID related absentees, that I just can't overemphasize the plan to attack Norwich at the start of the season. Be it Liverpool, be it City, be it game week for Arsenal, you just have to attack them. They're not good defensively. Even in the championship, they were not that good defensively. So just have to attack them when possible. Tariq says thoughts on Simicas. Yeah, already talked about that. Southampton, Livramento, 4 million. Yeah, Livramento, guys, is an interesting one. I wanted to talk about him as actually. He's 4 million. He just transferred from Chelsea to Southampton. He was a right back, come a right winger kind of a player. He's technically really good, and he actually provided an assist for Southampton in the preseason friendly. But is he going to replace Kyle Walker-Peters? At the moment, I don't think so. Unless they want to play him at left back, in which they already got a new player, or somebody else, somewhere else. I don't see, Livramento make their way into the team, and that is the reason why I didn't put him in. Otherwise, he's a talented player, but talented players and FPL doesn't go hand in hand. Barry says need 7 million. Lingard back at West Ham was absolutely brilliant. If Lingard goes back to West Ham, I think the person who suffers the most is Benrahma. Because he's kind of plays in a similar role to where Lingard used to play on the left or through the middle. So if he doesn't go back, I would be happy with Benrahma at West Ham as well. Tariq says, would Lukaku take penalties? Yeah, I think if Lukaku comes to Chelsea, I think he's gonna be in penalties unless Tuchel wants Jorginho to keep taking them. But ideally, you want your strikers to take your penalties. Neil says Jota should start game week 1, but Firmino is playing the friendly today. Yeah, but Firmino is playing the friendly because they had 2 games in 2 days. They played yesterday and then they're playing again today. So Firmino chances are low. Jota in form, looks very likely to start. So our friend Nehal here is totally agreeing with me in saying that Jota should start. But we'll find out more, guys. I'm gonna be here, as I said earlier. If you haven't subscribed here, to the channel, do subscribe. I'm going to be with you every day from now till the start of the season. So if you enjoy what we do here, please consider subscribing. And if you want to support the channel more, you could become a member as well. You could click on join and become a member of the channel and support FPL Wizard. So Nehal says, take it with a grain of salt though. Jota might be benched post the international break. Yeah, to be honest with you, even if Jota is benched after the easier fixtures, or the first 3 or 4 fixtures, we can tend to move. I'm even thinking of moving Jota on in game week 2 for possibly somebody like Grealish or Gundogan. So, but the thing is, we cannot predict these kinds of things at the start. We only have to play the fixtures. At the start of the season in game week 1, my friends, we only play the fixtures. Preseason form is not the parameter for us to go for a certain player or ditch a certain player. I'm just gonna have to say that. Saleh says, Wolves defender, any suggestions who will be nailed on? I think Connor Cody is nailed on, and other than that, I think what's his name? Just hang on, let me show you. The right back Semedo is pretty much nailed on, and their defender uh, Semedo's nailed on, Cody's nailed on, Billy Bowley's nailed on. Other than that, I'm not so sure. Maybe I don't exactly know which, if they're gonna play with Eight Nori or not. But I think Mark Carl is nailed on at left, on the left, because Eight Nori is too attacking. He was playing on the wing in the preseason games. I don't think that their new manager prefers Eight Nori on left back. He actually played him much further forward in the midfield. So, to be honest with you, Wolves are not. I wouldn't go for a Wolves defender. They are just playing such a high line. I expect them to be exposed. To be honest with you, really, really, playing a high line is not for Wolves to the generally for Wolves. They don't have the fastest defenders. Connor Cody, Willy Boley, Markal. Only I think Semedo is fast. So, in my opinion, Markal should be nailed on the left back. Yep. Yeah, Markal looks first choice, says Nehal. So yeah. So this is let me show you my team, by the way, guys. I've been showing you my tinkering team. This is where I'm at right now with my team. Rafinha could become Bandrama, Sofal could become Dean or Tierney or anybody else. There are going to be lots of changes. I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to give you my final team. You will only get my final team on the eve of game week 1, before 1 hour before the deadline, when Arsenal playing, because just like Gandhi said, we change every day. So a human being has a tendency to change their thoughts. We gather information, we change our team. Buckshot says, hi Wiz, hi everybody, sorry I'm late. Hey George, welcome my friend. No worries, no worries. We're gonna be here every night from now till the end, till the start of the season. So we're gonna have lots of chances to chat, George, so no worries, bro. Firmino scored in the friendly against Osasuna, says Nehal. Making life difficult for us, innit, guys? Always the same, always the same. FPL Sam says, switch 3-5-2 and 3-4-3 like 1,000 times. Havertz, Mahrez, Emil Smith-Rowe or Tony, plus 7.5. Yeah, you see, these are the two best formations. Actually, I had a few slides for you to see, but probably I'm going to show them to you tomorrow. But I have to, by the way, show you this new website that our videos are being sponsored this season by Fantasy Football Fix, and I'm going to be using this in my streams. For example, if you tell me, hey Wiz, who do we select? Do we go with we go with Greenwood, or do we go with Jota? So I'm gonna type here Jota, and I'm gonna select here, and then I'm gonna select Greenwood. And just for the sake of it, let's compare Gundogan as well. So last season, game week 1 to game week 38, and let's see the common attacking stats. So you see, in all the stats, Gundogan is kind of minutes played. Gundogan is obviously better than the two, and then FPL points, Gundogan got 157. Obviously, this is obviously related to the minutes played. Then bonus points, goals, Gundogan scored 13, Greenwood 7, Jota 9, assists again Gundogan with 4, and the shots. This is one tally in which Greenwood leads with 67 shots on target. Jota, so this is how I'm going to be answering your questions, and you can tell me to check any stat, because I've got everything here. This website, it gives you so many things, like goals from inside the box. You see here, Gundogan scored 11 goals from inside the box. Jota scored 9, Greenwood 7, and outside the box, no goals for Jota, no goals for Greenwood, 2 for Gundogan, and so I'm just going to be comparing the players. If you ask me a certain player, it's easier for me to answer you by showing you this website, guys. So I'm going to be using this website a lot this season. I hope you like that. Todd says, I signed up to Fantasy Football Fix from your link. Todd, you are a legend. I don't know how to thank you for supporting the channel so much. You've always been supporting us, and I just want to say thank you for all your support, my friend. So if you wanna sign up for Fantasy Football Fix, feel free to use the link in my description, everyone. You'll get a 65% discount. And I'm just gonna tell you that if you sign up for a yearly membership, I get £5, and if you sign up for a monthly, I get £2.5. So this is what I stand to earn from the subscriptions. So if you want to check it out, be my guest. No hidden what can you call it, no hidden agendas here. And Barry says, not FPL related, but will you be making a video on Premier League predictions? Barry, I generally haven't done Premier League predictions before. It's just really hard for me to do unbiased predictions, because for example, where am I going to place Arsenal? I don't want to say my team is going to come seventh at the start of the season, although I don't expect them to do too much better than last season because of the players that we've signed. I mean, essentially, we've got 50 million Ben White, and we've signed Lakonga and Tavares, not the most, the players to fill you with confidence. We've extended Granit Xhaka's deal. Again, not the best. Nehal says Semikas was the assister. So, guys, we've been talking about everything here about Jota, Firmino, not being nailed, and Semikas 4 million, and now Semikas is given the assist for the Firmino goal, and everybody's going crazy. You're gonna see his ownership skyrocket, definitely. By the way, what I want to show you here is something else. It's very important that I show all of you. There is something called strategy guide in fantasy, and guys, this is really really helpful, right? And I want to show you something here called that. I'm sorry, I should have. There you go. So this is what I want to show you. Look, all in 2021, the top 50 players, which formation did they use? 47% 3-4-3, 25% 3-5-2, all-time top 50s in 2021. So this is for those, that year's top 50. This is for the Hall of Fame kind of all-time top 50. Which formation did they use in 2020 and 2021? 3-4-3, 3-5-2. Guys, and when we start the season, we always tend to go with like 4-4-2, 4-3-3, but these are the formations that always kind of dominate the game. I wanted to show you this. This is from the strategy guide of Fantasy Football Fix, and I found it so helpful, and I wanted to share it with my viewers to kind of show you that which formation should we be going with. And let me show you something else as well here while we're at it. Where can we see? Yeah, there you go. So let us see 2019-20 season. Let's go. By the way, I'm just showing you the different features for Fix, and and show you which formation did they use. Had it somewhere here. I'm sorry, I should have planned it before, but there you go. So 2019-20, guys, top 50 players that year. Which formation did they use the most? 3-4-3. Which formation did they use the second most? 3-5-2. Which formation did the all-time top 50 use in 2019-20? 3-4-3. Second most, 3-5-2. Which formation you should be going for? You have to decide. 2019. Now let's move on to 2018-19, right? I can't show you the entire data. It's too much for me to show you. Which formation did the top 50 players in 2018-19 use? 3-4-3 again, 3-5-2 again. So there's a kind of a pattern forming here, guys. We need to kind of understand why this is happening, right? 3-4-3, 3-5-2. So I would strongly recommend you to start the season with one of these formations, because I think FPL is a game which rewards attacking points much more than, or attacking attributes much more than defensive attributes. For example, they would not reward you for an interception or a tackle as much as they would reward you for a goal or an assist or something shot on target, maybe in the BPS. So in my opinion, these are the two formations that we should be looking at while we're starting the season. And this is from the strategy guide, and I see so many like useful information, so much useful information from here that I've managed to understand my own kind of game by looking at this strategy guide, and I wanted to show you this. In addition to that, you've got these team reveals, like elite players revealing their teams, and so many more things that you can do in this website. If you want to sign up, brilliant. If you don't, they've still got so many free kind of features which you can check out. So definitely sign up to Fantasy Football Fix. If you don't want to pay for the membership, just sign up for the free tools. They're pretty good. For example, let's compare Salah and Fernandes, right? Maybe Son, and let's throw Mane in the mix. Sterling, yeah, why not? Let's go. All right. Oops, I forgot to select the game weeks, and there's a very good fixture ticker as well. There you go. So who dominated, guys? 2021 was dominated. Minutes, Son. FPL points, Bruno. FPL BPS, of course, Bruno. Goals, Salah, 22. Bruno wasn't too far behind. 18. Assists, Salah got only 6. Bruno got 14. Bruno is an elite FPL asset, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Shots, Salah. Shots on target, Salah. Attempted assists, Bruno. Look, 95 attempted assists. We can, like, there's so many things you can find here. Let's see the bonus points. Who got the most bonus points? Look here. These are the best things that happened to us after the game week. The bonus points, right? 36 for Bruno, 21 for Salah. Salah always gets very few bonus points because he manages to lose the ball a lot while dribbling, and that takes off your BPS a lot. So what else you want to see? How many times did Bruno or Salah get points over 10? Bruno got 12 double-digit hauls. Salah only got 6. Son got 11. And so many of us are not even considering Son. I mean, we want Son in our draft, but we haven't made a draft with Son. We are only going with Bruno. Salah got only 6 double-digit hauls. Son got 11. Bruno got 12. You see, these kinds of insights can help you guys. Really, really help you. And also want to show you the fixture ticker in which you can see. Let's see which team has the best defensive fixtures. Everton, they say, number 1. Liverpool. Watford, I don't really consider them to be the same as in the championship, but they say they've got good fixtures. Brighton have got some good fixtures too. So there are many other features which I'm gonna open this website every day here. I'm gonna show you different things. We're gonna compare players. When you ask me a question, I'm going to compare players for you right in front of you from this website. It makes it easier for me, and so yeah, these are things that we're gonna do here. DM says thoughts on Tsimikas, Amarte, and Omobamidele. Don't go with 3-4 million players. I think that's too much. If you want, you can go with 1. You can go with 2 at most, in my opinion. I don't think you should go with 3, 4 million players. I think that's a bit. Do you really expect Norwich to keep a clean sheet, or how many points are you expecting Omobamidele to give you, my friend? Not too many. Amarte is good. Tsimikas is good. Maybe until Robertson comes back. No matter how good Tsimikas plays, you have to consider as soon as Robertson is back, Tsimikas is out of the team. Fadzali says thoughts on Trossard. If he was 6 million, I would tell you to definitely consider him. At 6.5 million, I think there are equally good options, maybe better options. I think Bukayo Saka, Rafinha is pretty good. Even the way Benrahma has been playing, I'd say Benrahma is pretty good as well. Trossard is, let's say, out of those 6.5 million players, Trossard would be like 5th on my list, 5th or 6th. He's a good player. The problem is he doesn't have many ways to score FPL points. What can he do? He can maybe score a goal from open play or provide an assist. Other than that, he doesn't take too many, like set pieces, penalties, free kicks. Sometimes he takes, sometimes he doesn't. So with Trossard, it's a bit, he's a fantastically talented player, but FPL wise, I think there are better options in the same price range. Fadzali says Antonio really appealing to me, but if I want Antonio, I'll have to take out one of Ings and Wilson. Yeah, that's the problem. This season we've got like really good 6.5 million players, right? Or 7.5, I have to say, sorry. So FPL has given you a headache. You have to solve the problem. Either you go with Antonio, Wilson, and Ings. That's perfectly good strategy. I mean, you can avoid Tony. Why? Tony is not even proven in the Premier League. So if you want, you can avoid Tony and go for the other three if you're really feeling strongly for them, my friend. So this this is the choice that FPL has given to us. John Wick says opinion on the team which is sent before in the previous chat. All right, I'll have a look. He says Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, Ailing, White, Amarte. So you've got two 4.5 million and one 4 million, right? Salah, Bruno, Benrahma, Smith Rowe, Brownhill, Vardy, Tony, Antonio. John, it is a good team. Not sure if Vardy is the best option to be starting with. I know they've got good fixtures. That is totally subjective. I feel there are good cheap options in striking department. The thing is, the only reason you would want Vardy in your team is maybe you want a placeholder for Lukaku or maybe for Kane if he goes to Manchester City. Other than that, I don't think we should be considering Vardy because it makes your team weak. For example, you've got Smith Rowe as a starting player in your team. You've got Ailing or Ben White as a starting player in your team. I think you need a stronger starting 11 just to fit Vardy in your team. I think you compromised with a couple of positions in your team. So that's my opinion, bro. So this is one thing which I wanted to show you, and another thing which I had put a couple of slides for you to see. These are slides that I post on Twitter sometimes, and give you some decent information about. This is for Brian Mbumo and Ivan Toney and a couple of other slides that I just put up for you to see, because I don't want to bore you with the same screenshot of my team all the time. So that is the reason I just put up this screenshot for you to see. Ivan Toney scored like 31 goals, and out of those 22 were non-penalty. The interesting thing is he provided 10 assists as well, and he did not miss a single penalty, did Ivan Toney. So I'm going to add a lot more slides to this slideshow when I come here every day for you to read and maybe all right, why are there just two slides? I'm sorry, I added more, but for some reason this always happens. There you go. So this is one thing which I want you to see, guys, and I know this is going to change in a bit, but the first 5 game weeks are very important for your FPL team. I have to tell you this because this is important for you to understand. The first 5 game weeks can make you cannot basically win FPL in the first 5 game weeks, but you can definitely lose it. That is what I read on Twitter on some thread. I don't know who said it, but all credits due to whoever said it. You cannot win FPL in the first 5 game weeks, but you can lose FPL in the first 5 game weeks, right? So if somebody tells you your team is template, let them. No problems. You have to start with a safe team. You cannot go with like 5-6 differentials in game week 1 and then get left behind and play catch up. This is not how FPL is these days. You have to start well in order to finish well. I've been like 100k or 94k the season before that, 130k. One of the reasons was I did not start well. I made a couple of wrong decisions. It just becomes so difficult to catch up to other players. Once the template sets in, everybody knows who the good players are, who the good cheap players are. It becomes absolutely difficult for you to claw your way back, and then you have to go for differentials, and that is a double-edged sword that you can go either way. So in my opinion, if anybody tells you your team is template, do not be worried. Just pick the team that you expect to do the best. That is all I have to say to you. If you have to listen to me, if you have to listen, one advice that I give here is that just start well. Focus on starting well. Don't focus on going with the differential captain. Don't focus on going with a team for the first 10 game weeks. Make a team that does well in the first 3, 4, 5 game weeks. And you're gonna have transfers, you're gonna have your wild card. Think about that after that. Don't make a team for a very, very long term. This is not how FPL works nowadays, guys. Things are different. All right, that's over. That's all I wanted to say. Fadli says I'm currently on Mbumo. Mbumo is good. Mbumo's fine, my friend. He's pretty good. He's a young player, plays as an inverted winger in the 4-3-3, and in the 3-5-2 he plays alongside Tony. I like Mbumo a lot. I'm going with Backman, says Jug. Jug, I don't like Backman very much, to be honest with you. I know you're focusing on Watford's record from the championship. I don't think they're going to be able to keep it up. I honestly don't think so. So if you want to go with Backman, definitely be my guest. I still feel that Sanchez is a better option at 4.5 million. Just saying. Watford, I expect them to not do well in the Premier League. I don't want to say relegated. I don't want to break the heart of FPL managers. Neil says thoughts on less number of FPL managers for game week 1 FPL burnout. I'm kind of intrigued by that as well, Nihal. I expected last season it was like 70 million people playing FPL. This season it's been like 3.67 million. It's a bit weird for me. I expected like this season to hit the number to hit 8 million, but it hasn't happened. I don't know the reason. I really don't. Ramanathan says maximum differentials to have. Yeah. So Ramanathan, my point would be, which differentials can you have in game week 1? I'd say if you want to go with Benrahma or maybe somebody like Harvey Barnes, I wouldn't be against that because they are low risk differentials, right? You won't have a problem moving on Benrahma and getting some other player. You won't have a problem moving on Harvey Barnes and getting somebody else. The problem is, going with ultra uber differentials and then having a problem moving them on because your team structure becomes too rigid, in which you cannot actually move your team around because your budget is spread out in a way. 6 million player like Benrahma or 7 million player like Harvey Barnes, even I wouldn't be against that. But I'd say 2 or 3 differentials should be the maximum, and I would say captain a safe player always at the start of the season. For example, you can say, all right, let's captain Aubameyang, right, against Brentford. All right, he can do well, he can bang. Who knows what's Aubameyang gonna do? But that is not the safest option. The safest option is Salah or maybe Bruno Fernandes in that particular game week. So I'd say start safely, put a couple of differential if you want to. It doesn't matter at the start. Just start well. Firmino second goal. So he continues to troll us. Guys, come on. I mean, why can't we see Jota, Salah, Mane and Firmino all play together? It's possible, right? It is possible. It's gonna be good, guys. Come on, let's keep our faith. Yeah, I know we're a little bit concerned about that, but come on. I mean, we're gonna have Klopp's press conference and a lot of other things to go on, right? This is just the first stream of the season. Cut me some slack, guys. We're gonna get you to a good team by the start of game week 1. Do not worry. And by the way, one more thing I want to say to you, all right? Do not copy my team, guys. Do not copy my team. I'm here to give you my opinions, and when you copy my team and it doesn't work for you, then I don't want to tell you what happens in my inbox. So do not copy my team. It's in inverted commas, please. Nehal says, Ramanathan, I love Taki as well. The false 9. Yeah, well, Minamino is good, but will he get a place in the Liverpool team? I really, really don't think so. I mean, he's got like a lot of players in there before him. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well in the wings. I don't think Minamino has so much, chance to feature for Liverpool. John says, anyone considering Everton defense after pre-season? To be honest with you, I don't think anything should change after that United game. The only good option there is maybe Luka Dean because he's attacking. Other than that, I wouldn't consider many Everton defenders. No, and to be honest with you, Everton don't have the easiest of fixtures. Although the fixture ticker, let me show you the fixture ticker once again. Let me yeah, there you go. So this game, Southampton at home, might be easy, but do you think Leeds away is an easy game for Everton? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Brighton away, n- not an easy game either. You know, Burnley at home, you can say it's a decent game. Aston Villa away is not an easy game either. So I mean, these are games we can say they have games against the non-top six teams. That is the only thing we can say. We say they are the easiest? I don't think so. Who's got easy games? We'll say Liverpool does. Like they've got Norwich, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Brentford. These are the easier games. You know, Everton is not the kind of team which can dominate Leeds, for example. Everton are not the kind of team which can dominate Aston Villa, for example. I don't think they can. They didn't even dominate them last season. No, so we have to take it with a pinch of salt. You want an Everton defender, you have to get him considering that they might give you what, one or two clean sheets in the first 6 game weeks. You have to, you know, believe that. That is exactly my opinion. Coleman is also a good shout. Yeah, Coleman is fine, bro. DM says last question for today. Sorry for disturbing. DM, we are here to answer your questions, my friend. You are not disturbing. I welcome your questions. Please. He says, should I replace Harrison and get Sar? Ismaila Sarr was the best player of Watford, but he was the best player only after they played 4-3-3, and they're again back to playing 4-4-2, which I don't understand why they did in pre-season. I'm a little bit concerned about Ismaila Sarr. If they play 4-4-2, Ismaila Sarr has to play a little bit further back, and if they play 4-3-3, he plays on the wing. And even though he was their best player, Watford were not a great attacking team. If you want to go for Sarr at 6 million, I don't think there's a big risk, kind of on getting Sarr. But I think at 6 million, you could consider Benrahma as well. You could consider Harrison as well. I wouldn't replace Harrison with Ismaila Sarr if that's what you're asking me. Nike says Coleman is also a good shout. Yeah, 5 million Coleman. I'm gonna be their captain. Fine. Fadzali says I'll be tinkering for a while. Be right back. Yeah, go ahead, Fadzali, bro. Give me a good team. Nihal says he's talking to Ramanathan. Devinder says double up on Shaw and Maguire. I don't think so. Abhirup says, hey Wiz, how are you doing? DCL, Watkins, Ings. If I had to pick one of them, I'd pick Ings. DCL is injured. Watkins and Ings, I'd pick Ings over Watkins, bro. I'm fine, by the way. I hope you're fine too. Abdi Kafi Eden says, my guy, how are you? I'm fine, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you're fine as well. Devendra, I would not double up on Shaw and Maguire. I think it's a bit too much. I know you saw Shaw put in an assist for the Maguire header, but that doesn't happen very often in the Premier League. I think one United defender is enough, in my opinion. Now, because I don't think they're going to be having too many clean sheets, but Shaw we have for the attacking potential along with the clean sheets, you know. Nick says, Happy New Year, Vizzy. I'm buzzing for Friday. So am I, my friend, and Happy New Year to you as well. I'm buzzing for Friday. Can't wait for the FPL to start, especially since they launched the game so early this season. It was like 65 days to go for the season to start when they launched the game, and all we've been doing is tinkering. Was it like 50 days? I'm not sure how many days it was. It was well over 1.5 months. So we've been tinkering, and now we come to the real deal. 4 days for the season to start, and 4 days every night with the FPL wizard. Don't you dare miss any stream. John Wick says, anyone considering Zaha? I'm not considering Zaha, bro. He's a troll for me. I know Crystal Palace have got alright fixtures. I want to see how Patrick Vieira sets them up in the Premier League. Also, they're two great players not great players, but the most skillful players in Olis and the one they signed, Ezekiel Eze. So, Eberechi Eze. So these are the two creative players in the midfield. They signed Olis this year and Eze last year. They're both injured, so I don't see the creativity coming from the midfield. Zaha alone, I don't think is gonna do too much. They need supporting players, and they're not there. But he's been playing well in the preseason, like Philip Rose says. But Andres Pereira always plays well in preseason. You always take preseason games with a pinch of salt. We cannot base our picks only on that. I always tend to pick my initial team 70% on the basis of fixtures. I think that is the best way to go about it. Over the time, that is what I've realized. Nehal says Zaha plays well preseason. Yeah, there you go. Fadzali says breaking news: FIFA has allowed Arsenal to start with 30 points ahead of next season to avoid relegation. You're so kind, Fadzali. you guys are too much. Raja says, "Hi Wiz, what about Sar?" Raja, I think let's rate the 6 million players. So we've got Harrison. Let me open the page. Let's rate the players. We've got who we got for realistically for 6 million. Let me open the. All right, all players, 6 million midfielders. All right, so basically we've got Harrison, we've got Benrahma, we've got Willock. By the way, guys, do not ignore Willock. He's gone to Newcastle. He was absolutely smashing for Newcastle. Do not ignore Willock at all, because if he goes to Newcastle, and Newcastle have some really, really good fixtures here. Let me show you the Newcastle fixtures just so that you get a perspective on how good the Newcastle fixtures are, and you'll see. I need to who's the Newcastle midfielder which I can get. And alright, give me a second, guys. I know I should be faster at doing this, but unfortunately it still takes a while. Alright, so we've got here Newcastle fixtures for you. They've got West Ham, Aston Villa, Southampton, Leeds, Watford, Wolves, Crystal Palace. So they've got alright fixtures at the start of the season, and these are the similar type of fixtures in which Joe Willock absolutely did amazing last season, at the tail end of last season. So do not ignore him at all. So 6 million, we've got Joe Willock, we've got Bertrand Traore from Aston Villa. I wouldn't consider him over the other options. El Ghazi, he's on penalties for Aston Villa. You could probably consider him as well. Other than that, we've got Iwobi. I wouldn't go there. Ayoze Perez, no. Harrison is obviously a very good option. And at 6 million, Ismail Assar, obviously I do rate him, but not over maybe Harrison or Benrahma. Ismail Assar is good. The Watford team is not, And Trincao could be a good option, but we need to see how he does in Wolves. Yeah, I think that's about it. The options that we can consider in that 6 million price range. If you want to go down, you could go with Mbumo, you could go with Emil Smith Rowe and others which we just discussed. Townsend from Everton could be alright at 5.5 million, but of course I wouldn't go there. Alright, back to reading the comments. Nick says, I brought Tsimikas in my team and changed Jota to Greenwood. Am I nuts? No, you're not, Nick. This is a move that has been discussed in the chat so many times today. And I think if you want to go with Tsimikas, you could. I think he would be a decent option at the start of the season. For me, I just think that, I want Jota against Norwich. And that's what I'm at now. Maybe after a couple of days, I'm going to be changing my mind. But right now, I still want to stick with Tsimikas. All right. Nihal says, any love for Pepe? I've got a lot of love for Pepe, but I was pretty positive about Pepe this season, especially watching him in preseason looking so sharp. But Arsenal is as Arsenal does, losing to Chelsea, losing to Tottenham, not scoring many goals. They've just again, they've doused my enthusiasm at the start of the season. I just don't want to start with the 7.5 million Arsenal players. So that means I'm gonna wait until Arsenal can lose a few games, and then then I'm gonna ignore Pepe. But I think Pepe has been sharp in preseason. I can tell you that. Nihal says Harrison, Sarr, and Ben Rama. Yeah, we should consider Willock as well. Yeah. Nick says Pepe is a shout, but it is Arsenal. So yeah, true. Abirup says, hi Wiz, thanks, and best 4.5 million defender. Abirup, if you want to consider the best nailed on defender at this moment in time, I'd say you could think about Weltman, you could go with Ben White, and you could go with Luke Ayling. I think these three are, in my opinion, the most kind of nailed on defenders for this price range. And other than that, you could let me see who else we can consider. So we've got Veltman, Ben White, and Ayling. I would say Lowton as well, but Lowton is kind of not going to start the season due to some problems. So otherwise, Lowton we could throw in Lowton as well. And since Patrick Van Aanholt has left Crystal Palace, you could consider Mitchell as well, especially since Patrick Vieira wants them to play attacking from the flanks. So you could consider 4.5 million for Mitchell. I think he could be a decent option as well. Other than that, I don't see too many options. Honestly, I'm looking through all the options for you here. Don't see too many options. Unless you want to consider the Watford defenders, who are literally all 4.5 million. Peralta, Trusticong, Kiko Femenia, Danny Rose, but I'm not gonna go there. Aitnori was good for me, but I don't think he's gonna start the season. Markal, Conor Cody, again, all these options are fine. If I had to nail, kind of compress them down to 2 or 3, I'd say Ben White, Luke Ayling, and Joel Weltman are the ones which you should be going for, bro. Right, back to answering your questions. Drew says Pepe, good idea, but then I'd want to drop him after game week 1. Drew, the thing is, we want a Pepe for game week 4 against Norwich, and that is the fixture in which we should get an Arsenal player, and I would be happy to get Pepe for that fixture alone. But to be honest with you, Arsenal's form, and the thing is, the way Arteta makes them play doesn't fill me with confidence that Arsenal are going to score too many goals. The way Arsenal play right now, they have to walk the ball in the back of the net. There is no chance for anybody to shoot from outside the box, to kind of just take a deflection and score a goal, or they just play. The build-up play is so slow and sluggish that they literally have to pass it inside the net. That is the reason Arsenal are not scoring too many goals. I don't see that changing. I don't see how Arsenal are playing different from last season. I just don't see it. I mean, I've watched all the preseason games. They're just always so slow and sluggish in their build-up. Maybe Saka comes in and changes things, but realistically, are we expecting a 19-year-old to, or the creative burden of the entire team on the shoulders of a 19-year-old? We had to sign a creative player. And who did we sign? Lekonga, who's essentially a defensive midfielder, or maybe a box-to-box midfielder. We signed Nuno Tavares. He's a left back. And we signed Ben White. He's a defender. Although maybe we signed him because he progresses the ball well, but he's still a defender. I just don't understand how Arsenal are going to improve. And Aubameyang, after signing his contract, has turned into, such a wasteful striker. Where is my old Aubameyang? I want him back. Just get him back for me, guys. Well, anyways, I don't want to rant about Arsenal here. It's going to be a very long stream if I start ranting about Arsenal, Drew. John says, Ings, Nacho, Watkins. Already have Tony and Antonio. I would go with Ings, bro. Honestly, John. Ings or Wilson. Fadzali, I'd say Wilson is a slightly better option than Ings based on the fixtures and based on the fact that he's got penalties. You know, Ings just plays for a better team. That's the only thing. Fadzali says, do you mind making a quick prediction of the Game Week 1 matches? No, my friend, I don't mind. I'll make the prediction. My predictions are generally not the best, but since you asked for it, bro, why not? Alright, here are the games. And why don't you make your predictions with me, my friends? Everybody should make predictions, you know. I am a wizard. I always say that. I don't have the crystal ball. So make your predictions with me, guys, and let's go. So what do we think about is going to happen in the first game against Brentford? Come on, guys. I'm an Arsenal fan. Cut me some slack. Cut me some slack, please. There you go. 1-1, says Fadzali. He doesn't want Arsenal to win. Nick says 1-1 as well. Guys, come on. Abirup says, thanks, Wiz. Love your detailed and composed answers. You're welcome, Abirup. I just love what I do, bro. That's the reason I do what I do. So 1-1, says Fadzali. Nick. So what do you think, Drew? Everybody else, give me your answers quickly, and then I give you my prediction. All right. 1-2, says Drew. So you see, Drew is really actually cutting me some slack, and he says Arsenal can win. White and Tony goal. Nick, White is not going to score a goal, bro. He rarely crosses the halfway line unless it's a corner. Nahal says 3-1 Arsenal. So you mean Arsenal going to win 3-1, Nahal, right? I hope you mean that. But my prediction is I'd say 2-1 Arsenal win, or I'd say a 2-2 draw or a 2-1 Arsenal win. I'm being optimistic in saying that Arsenal won't lose. I'd say 2-1 to Arsenal or 2-2. That's about what I think is gonna happen. And Tony to score 1 goal, and that is definitely my prediction. I think first match at home in front of the fans. You know, Brentford got promoted to the Premier League the first time. I think they're going to be excited and they're going to play well. That's what I think. Manchester United versus Leeds. I'd say, I'll give you my prediction first for this one, guys. 3-1 United win, says Fadzali, and says FPL Wizard. I was gonna say that. So I think Leeds gonna score 1 goal and United gonna score 3. So it's gonna be a 3-1 United win as well for me. What do you think about what do you think about this one, guys? Let me have a drink of water until I get your predictions. So Nahal says 3-2 United. Oh, it was actually Nick. So Nick says 3-2 United. So expect Leeds to score 2 against United, and Nahal says. So I think we're pretty unanimous in saying that United should win. You know, and maybe by 1 goal or by 2 goals, we're gonna see. So at least we all expect a United win. So getting United assets is a good idea, right? So we're all unanimous. John says, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't see Arsenal winning. Come on, my friend. Be optimistic, just like me. We won't lose. All right, moving on. Burnley versus Brighton. This is an interesting one. I think hopefully most of us got Sanchez, and I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. Do you? I mostly think Brighton can keep a clean sheet in Game Week 2, possibly. In Game Week 1, I think it's going to be a tough one. If Burnley starts slow, as they do at the start of the season, I think it could be a 0-0 draw. It could be a 0-0 draw, in my opinion. Fadzali says Burnley 0, Brighton 1. I'm pretty sure we all want a clean sheet here. Yep. John says 4-2 United. That's pretty good. Drew says 2-2. I'm from Leeds. A draw would be good. I don't expect another 6-2. Yep, I don't expect another 6-2 as well, Drew. But I honestly feel that United have got too much quality, you know, for them to kind of draw that game, especially in front of the home fans. I think United should win that game. No bad feelings here, but that is just what we're predicting here, right? So yeah, it's Brentford. Arsenal is better than Brentford for sure. No, Arsenal is better than Brentford. I totally give you that. Arsenal have got better players than Brentford, but we don't play in a way in which we feel confident going into games right now, Nahal. That is the problem. You know, what if every time you want the perfect passing move to finish the game, or the finish the goals. It doesn't happen that way. We don't create a lot of chances. We don't have a proper number 10. Emil Smith Rowe is fine. He's a kid, he's like 19-year-old. You can't put all the creative burden of the team on the shoulders of Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. It's just not fair, you know. Alright, so 0-0 Burnley, home advantage. John Wick says 1-0 Burnley, me or Wood header. Understandable, United. Yep, agree. So in my opinion, guys, I'd say we all agree that it could be a 0-0 draw, right? That's what at least I'm predicting. Or a 0-0 draw to Burnley and Brighton. If Brighton don't waste their chances like they normally do, maybe Brighton could win, right? Next is Chelsea versus Palace. I think we're all unanimously going to agree that Crystal Palace doesn't stand a chance against the European champions, especially with their bolstered forward line and Lukaku and stuff. I think that Chelsea gonna be too strong. I'd say 3-0 to Chelsea. What do you say, guys? 2-0 says Nehal. Caspiano says 2-0. Yep, so we all agree. Fadzli says 3-1 Palace. So I think we all agree that they're going to win by a deficit of 2 or 3 goals. I'd say 3-0. We've got 2-0s as well. So Chelsea win by 2 goals. I think that's the unanimous call. Everton, Southampton. That's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a really interesting one. If Everton, don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin back, they don't have Richarlison back. Not even sure James Rodriguez wants to be at Everton. He feels betrayed by Carlo Ancelotti leaving after signing James after 1 year, So I'd say a 1-1. A 1-1 should be the output in my opinion. John Wick says 2-0 to Everton. Nehal says don't see both teams scoring 0-0. Caspiano says 1-2. This one is pretty easy. Everton 1-2, Fadzili says. Interesting. This is the one which is dividing the opinion. Drew says 4-1. Guys, come on, look at the variance in these answers. So John and Caspiano expect a win to Everton along with Drew, but Fadzili says and Caspiano says they're gonna Southampton gonna beat Everton. Interesting. Neil says it's gonna be a draw. In my opinion, I see a 1-1 draw. I don't see any of them keeping a clean sheet. I'd say both teams would find it difficult to score a goal. Everton more so without a proper striker. Maybe Moise Kean can come in and do something, but it would be hard for Everton to score a goal, to be honest with you. That is the reason I don't want to go with Dean, by the way, guys. And because Dean has nobody to answer his crosses. Even against United, he put in 2 or 3 amazing deliveries. They just went through the box unanswered. It was atrocious. So this is an interesting one. It's dividing opinion, and rightly so, I'd say. Or in my opinion, I'd say 1-1. That's just my prediction. Leicester Wolves. I'd say Leicester win 3-1, I'd say. What do you say, guys? 3-1, I'd say Leicester win. Fadli says 3-0. Wolves play a high line with the new manager. Vardy party with the thicker line for the offside. Yeah, that is absolutely true. The new manager of Wolves, he plays a high line. That is the reason why I really want to go for Harvey Barnes. I think Harvey Barnes could be the one to benefit, because he likes to run behind the defense along with Vardy. And if we can't afford Vardy, the second best thing to do here is to go for Harvey Barnes. But we all agree that Leicester gonna win. So we've got like 3-0, 2-0, 3-0. So yeah, that is the one reason I want to go with Harvey Barnes, guys. I want to tell you straight. This is, the high line of the new Wolves team and the slow speed of their defenders is one reason I want to go with Harvey Barnes. Yep, 2-1. So we've got a unanimous Leicester win. The score lines are different. Alright. So Watford and Aston Villa. I see an Aston Villa win here. I'll go with let us say a 2-0 Aston Villa win, right? Am I being I don't know if I'm being too careful with my predictions here, but I'd say 2-1 or 2-0 to Villa should be the score. Caspiano says 1-1. That is interesting, Caspiano. The thing is, I don't see where Watford's goals come from. They don't have. They signed Juraj Kuchka, right? I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a 34-year-old player. Kuchka, he's he's he wasn't. He was. I hope he's the same player who was at AC Milan. If I'm not wrong, let me check. Yeah, he's 34 years old. He's skillful, but for a player to come straight to the Premier League after at this age, I'm not sure if it's gonna be successful. But let's see, guys. I see you're all not as. Fadli says you don't see where Watford goals come from. They got 10 strikers. Yeah, that's true. They've got a lot of strikers, but I don't see any of them playing. That's insane, by the way. Watford have got 10 strikers listed in the Premier League. But I'd say, in my opinion, I'd say Aston Villa win this one. And yeah, that's true. John says Ings with the Buendia assist. I'm not even sure if Buendia is gonna. No, the Kuko which you're saying is different. That is a different one. Yeah. I might be wrong. No, Juraj Kuchka is a different one and Kuko is a different one. Anyways, they've got this Joao Pedro striker as well who did pretty well last season. He scored 9 goals. And he's a Brazilian. He's a good striker, but still, they're not proven in the Premier League. None of them except Troy Deeney and Ismail Yassar are actually the ones who are proven in the Premier League. So I feel Watford will struggle. Maybe in front of the home crowd they'll score 1 goal, but I expect Aston Villa to win this 2-1. So I'm gonna stick with 2-1, guys. Moving on. All right, this prediction is gonna be interesting. Let's see how many goals you give to Liverpool and whether Team Pookie scores 1 or not. Let's go for it, guys. Take it away. Norwich versus Liverpool. What do you think? Fadzali says 1-2. Really? You expect Liverpool to score 2 goals? Just 2 goals against Norwich? Come on, Fadzali. Cut some slack, bro. Nihal says 4-1. Caspiano says 0-3. I'd say, yeah, Norwich are struggling with COVID. I agree with you. I mean, they're struggling with COVID. They're, they don't have defenders. Hanley is out. And Ben Gibson is out. They're having to start Omo Bamidele, and I would love to be surprised, bro, but I don't think Norwich have got the players to surprise me unless they do something like they did against City. But they don't even have Emiliano Buendia anymore. Gonna be tough, bro. Drew says 0-3. So I think we're all unanimously agreeing, except Fadzali, that Liverpool gonna beat Norwich and 3-0. They're gonna beat them with a deficit of 3 goals. So that's the consensus. Nehal says Mane is looking sharper than Salah. Yeah, he is looking sharper. Totally agree with you. But again, how much can you base your decisions on the preseason form is again a question. Salah hasn't looked slow or sluggish. It's just that he hasn't been getting the goals in preseason. He's created some good chances, been in good positions. He's been alright. He's looked sharp and hungry. So I would still go with Salah, although I agree with you that Mane has looked better or sharper, I'd say. Alright, guys, I've been streaming. If you want me to stream tomorrow as well, we need to end the stream right now. I've been speaking for around 1.5 hour, over 1.5 hour. Let's wrap it up quickly and leave something for tomorrow. The Newcastle versus West Ham. I'd say a West Ham win 3-1. I'd say West Ham win 3-1 or 3-2. I'd say 3-1 or 3-2 West Ham, and that's what I wanna give to them. I'd say Newcastle would score against. At home, the first game, I'd say Newcastle can score. They've got Saint Maxima, who always is a firecracker. So, West Ham is Wilson's boogie team, is it? And that's interesting. So I think 3-2 is a fair assessment in it. The last one, guys, this should be interesting. I'd say 2-1 to Manchester City. That is my prediction for the last one. 2-1 to Manchester City. What do you think? Oh, Nahal says 2-1 Newcastle. West Ham. Right, that's interesting, Nahal. You expect Newcastle to win, right? That would be really dangerous for us who are planning to own maybe 2 or 3 West Ham players. 1-0 Spurs. Dele to score. Yeah, Dele has looked really sharp, but beating City is going to be tough, bro. Beating City is going to be very tough, especially if they don't have Harry Kane. Having Harry Kane, it still has a little bit of an effect, a psychological effect on the other team. Without Harry Kane, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to beat Arsenal. Arsenal. I'm in Tottenham. Realistically, Nahal says 2-0 to City. Yeah, I agree. I think 2-1. It could be 2-1. Maybe Son gets a goal, or maybe Dele Alli gets a goal. But beating City is going to be too much, I think, bro. Fadli says same time for the tomorrow stream. Yep, Fadli, same time, bro. Hopefully, 15 minutes before or after, but approximately the same time. Gonna be here talking FPL if nothing happens, bro. So with this, guys, I think there has been a pretty healthy start to our FPL live streams for the season. We've discussed a lot of important points. I showed you my team. I showed you where I'm at, and I'm going to show you every day where my team is. How my team is progressing. What is in my thinking? Did I change anything or did I change nothing? Still gonna be here answering your questions. Showing you player comparisons and just in general talking about FPL. We all enjoy that. Nahal says you think Stones will be back in the City back four. Yeah, I think Stones and Ruben Dias is going to be the partnership. I think Laporte is going to leave, or maybe not going to be playing ahead of Stones and Dias. I think has to be Cancelo. Not even sure about Kyle Walker, what's going to happen with Kyle Walker, but I think Stones and Dias are going to be nailed. Definitely, or before Laporte, who I think is going to be either backup or going to leave. I think Stones, yep, I think is going to be back in. I think so, yeah. I think Stones can be back for game week 1. Don't see a reason why not, my friend. I don't see a reason. But let's wait and watch, for press conferences, Nahal. We're going to get more information. Right now, I think against Spurs, Dias and Stones are the ones which I think are going to play. I don't think Ake is going to get any more chances. I think Ake has blown his chances with the performance that he made in the Community Shield. So, Nick says, let's grow the channel, Wiz. Well, Nick, thank you so much, bro. I've been trying my best. I've been putting out videos in pre-season, so there's lots of content for you guys to consume. If you're interested in promoted teams like Watford, Norwich, Brentford, there's lots of content on the channel for you to consume. So just just if you have time, just visit the channel, watch the videos. You might find it helpful. If not, then just join me on my streams every night, and we're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna do this. So I would like to thank you for visiting the first stream of the season. It has been a good one. I think it's been a healthy start to the live streams, and I'm gonna be here again. I'm just want to tell you, gonna be here every day until the season starts. I'm gonna talk to you about FPL, answer your questions. So do join me every day until the game week 1 deadline, same time. So long, guys. Take care and see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. FPL Visit signing out. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.